Alright, this is the Pyramid Fairy clip that you can do without the red crystals, with just boots, smear, and you might use other things as well, like flippers can come into play or something like that. It's kind of weird. But usually it's just boots and mirror, doesn't matter. Really what else? You don't even need the pearl, you can get everything in there. You get free Super Bunny from doing this clip, so you don't need to worry about that. So you start off by doing a Hera Clip, so you want to be in the Lightworld. You want to get to about here. You can do this with a spin speed, like this, or you can do this with a regular boot clip, which is about here. So on this one, you're gonna have to tap right and then hold left and then down to make sure you don't go into Hera. On the other one, you'll want to tap up to pop yourself out of the top of it and then come down. After you've done that, you want to come to about here and take the portal to where my sword is. So you just walk down here and take the portal. It's always there. Really easy to find. And then you're going to head down to the right to where your spike cave is and jump down. You have to take the spike cave exit here. If you go left early, you will screen scroll the game and you won't be able to play. So make sure you do that. And then you want to come down left to about here so that you can actually interact with the objects near you. As you can tell, I'm like here actually. And then head left now. So you'll be over here. And then you're just going to want to mirror. It doesn't quite matter where, you'll align it later at the Hyrule Castle area. So you'll typically want to have your head lined up with this dirt patch above me. And then it doesn't really matter how low you go, but you'll want to be somewhere around like maybe right here. This is pretty good. Maybe a little lower, it doesn't matter too much. So we'll just mirror and head down. So the way to get there now, you have a couple options. Option 1 is the easy one, and you just flute. Option 2 is get yourself killed by boulders, and option 3 is clip down manually. I don't recommend clipping down manually unless you have a ton of HP. And you can find how to do that somewhere else. It's just a really easy spin speed clip at that bottom corner. So now that you're here, you have to go around this way through the Uncle Hole if you've killed Aghanim already. If you haven't killed Aghanim already, you just walk up, go through the area and get to the main front of Hyrule area. I'll show you where we want to be on the way out. I've killed Aghanim in this one, so I have to go around. There's a fancier castle jump clip, but I'll show that in a minute. It also requires flippers to do it easy. There's a harder version of it that doesn't require flippers, but I don't really know how to do it that well. So now that you're here, you're going to want to grab a bush. You don't need to grab a bush, but it helps you line this up and make sure you can do it in one go. Because if you don't enter this portal at the right spot, you could enter the doorway really high, and it'll cause you to you'll have to exit and enter the Pyramid Fairy several times. If you enter it too low, you'll have to go back through your portal, and well, I guess you might not be able to, so you might even script the entire thing and have to redo it again. So the setup for the bush is you want to get your elbow right here. Link has his little elbow. So I'm just gonna move it up bit by bit here, just to be safe. 1 pixel more should be enough, so come on. There we go. So you can kind of see his elbow is a little bit higher or in line with this stump part. That's a good spot. I'm comfortable throwing the bush here and taking the portal back. So once you've done that, just hold up through this part of it, and you'll immediately transition in. And then you can open your chests and then exit. As I said, you'll have Super Bunny state, so it doesn't matter. And once you leave, you're free to do whatever. So there's different options of what can happen. So this is the castle jump right here. So if you have Aghanim killed, this is probably the best way to go. If you have flippers, you just dash up here, tap right, and then hold right. You'll fly all the way up to the top of the castle, and then you can enter the bounds from here. So the line up here is the bottom of my shadow is the bottom of this shadow, and then I just boot clip left until there's about 2-3 pixels here. And then you just dash in, tap down, hold right. So that's one of the easy ways to get you into the bounds where this portal is. So in this setup, I've intentionally put my portal really high. Really high. Like, this is terribly high. You don't want it this high, pretty much ever. So if I just walked into it, notice that every time I've taken this, probably should have said it earlier, but every time I've taken this, I was flush to those yellow little bushes, so that every time I would enter, the portal, I would be at the right alignment. If you're any farther left, you won't get in the doorway. So make sure you're lining up on those yellow things when you go in. So we entered this really high. As you can tell, when I'm going to leave this and hold down, I'm going to be stuck here. I can't go out. So what happens when you are too high and you get in and you get stuck in here, you're not trapped. So when you leave, immediately hold up again. And you'll pop out a little bit before you go back in. And now when you leave, you're free. So you just have to make sure that if you've noticed that you're too high, which is like if your shadow is like 3 or 4 pixels above the bottom of this, you're too high and you're going to want to hold up immediately upon exiting the cave, because it'll pop you out before you go back in, and it'll allow you to come out at a nice place. Because this is a one-way cave, you come out exactly where you were no matter what. So you popping yourself lower into the screen as you go through the door transition makes you able to cut out through this without getting stuck in the wall like I had earlier. So that is the way to do the Pyramid Fairy. It's really easy. The main thing to remember is don't go left early up here. If you go left early up here, you will screen trap forever. It's bad. Yeah. That's that.